We're back to Lake Viles at Foxwoods, and we're here with Donny Marshall for the Donny Marshall Charity Golf Tournament that supports the Tallinn Fund, that supports the Ryan Martin Foundation. Donny, how are you?
Man, I couldn't be better. It's been an amazing 2 days. The golf was great today. We had a VIP party last night at Foxwoods. It was, I'm telling you, and I say this all the time, people think I'm being, I don't know, facetious or what, but I'm living a life I don't deserve. And a weekend like this just validates it. I have friends that former players, teammates, broadcast partners, golf buddies just coming to support. And you know, I love basketball. We love basketball. Right. But there are just some games and sports that you just can't gather people like this for. Basketball is not one of them. But now basketball helped me get able to do this. Right. But golf is just one of those universal games that you can just bring so many people together. And obviously with the Tallinn Fund benefiting adaptive athletes, who wouldn't want to help in that?
Give us the inside scoop. How competitive is it inside the ropes out there? Not just, you know, the scramble stuff, but you and the force.
Yeah, I don't see Ray. Is Ray on here this year?
Ray's not here. So
Ray's not here. We played
yesterday. Did that lower the level then today?
No,
I know how.
Sterling Sharp is
oh, yeah, of course.
And Scott Burrell. And honestly, I can't escape Scott Burrell. He's everywhere. Turn around, Scott Burrell's there. And honestly, Cam Spencer, who won, I know he's a good golfer, but someone who talks more than me, an athlete, I know besides Bibbs.
Wow.
He talks more than me. Really?
No, not when he was just
I'm waiting to get on the air, and he's still sitting in the chair.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, talking. I thought he was talking smack.
No. You know what? No, Ben got him going talking about the Orioles.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's an easy one. But he talks trash. I've been telling people about Cam Spencer because since Donny Marshall, they haven't had a guy with that edge at UConn. They just have now. I'm telling you, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on him, but he can handle it. He's going to win 4, maybe 5 games for UConn this year, Cam Spencer. Plays multiple positions. He's tough. He's just one of those guys, may not start a fight, pick a fight, but he will end it. And he will end it with knocking down a 3 late game.
I love hearing
saw it at Rutgers, saw it at Loyola, Maryland. He to me is the steal of the portal this summer. Amazing.
You need guys like that.
You need guys like that. And he carries it over out here. We're at the range. Today he asked me what we were, and I don't know, we were like 7, 8 under, and he said, well, so you played I know you that well. You're going to be talking trash to me.
That's right.
but he's awesome. We had a great day yesterday. I do a clinic at the community center here at Foxwood, the Mashantucket Pequot Community Center, Recreation Center, and Cam came, and we had 75 boys and girls.
Awesome.
Put him through a basketball clinic. Donovan Klingon was there, so I got a chance to spend some time with Cam. But I knew him a little bit because he played for Steve Peichel. Remember Peichel, UConn guy? Peichel he showed me around my recruiting trip back in the 1900s before I came to UConn. And Carl Hobbs was my assistant, too, at UConn. So I've known Cam longer, obviously, than he's known me. But he's a tremendous kid, tremendous addition. Besides the fact he might be older than us, especially with this whole 5th year. I think he's in his 6th or 7th year. But no, he's going to be a nice vocal leader for them and a huge, just an amazing find by Hurley.
You were at the beginning of like all of this with the women's basketball, the men's basketball. Now there's 16 national championships between the two. Now the football is getting better. The expectations are getting bigger nationally, I think, for the programs around. Is that tough on these young guys? Because like this kid's 19 years old, Donovan Klingon. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's you know, we're older now. We've gone through the pros and all that kind of stuff, so we know. Okay, well that's what you're getting paid to do. These athletes, it's like we're putting a lot on them at a young age.
This is what they're getting paid to do too with NIL.
I know,
but I think they're in their own bubble.
Right.
And you remember as an athlete, young athlete, you have your ecosystem is really small. It's tight. You don't really think about what's really outside of that, or you don't think, with all due respect, about at that time who came before you. You know, you're thinking about so many other things, classes, social life, playing time, and then you want to win, but I don't think they have enough time to worry about pressure. I did have a great conversation again with Cam Spencer about, I know you played some big arenas, loud arenas, but in a good way, playing in Connecticut it's cultish. It is like a cult in the best way possible.
I tried to warn him about this a little bit off the air.
Yeah, if Colts can be good, it's a pleasant one here in Connecticut, but it's a different animal. And for the fans, I think maybe for the coaches, you do feel those expectations. You do feel some of that pressure. I will say this: $33 million takes some pressure off you if you're Danny Hurley. Takes a little bit and winning the championship,
and well deserved. Well, because it also takes the conversation off the table of, hey, he might leave, he might go somewhere else. I was getting upset last year because there's a lot of jobs that opened up that he could have gone to.
Yeah, and that transition from they're winners, and you ask about the pressure, the expectations. It's funny, those expectations aren't really there until you win, and neither are they changing conferences. Could he go somewhere else? That's when those conversations start. Now you're winning, and it's all that stuff from around you. But again, for the coaching staff, for the players, you got to kind of be in your own little ecosystem and let that stuff happen because it's going to, and not think too much about it.
I remember not too long ago, you were running through our studios for something you were doing for Fox Sports. You stopped in, you said hello. We were talking UConn hoops, and you told us, man, it's a tough conversation right now with me and all of my colleagues when they bring up college basketball because I don't want to really, talk about it. Now, I'm sure you are inviting those conversations, and how quick that had changed from really 2 or 3 years.
You got to remember too, it's everything socially, politically. You got to remember what happened in the past, just to make the future better, to make what's ahead better. College is the same way. Yeah, there was some turmoil at UConn. It started probably 7-8 years ago. Calhoun, what's he going to do? Right. Some violations, and they're trying to get Kevin Ollie in there. Interim, finally gets hired, wins the championship. Doesn't go great after that. So there's been a lot of turmoil. So a lot of people didn't want to talk, UConn and winning and all those things. But again, winning it makes everyone feel so much better. And I think when you win, it's easier to talk about those hard times you had before because it shows that we kind of pulled up our bootstraps and we've come out of it, went through all that adversity, but now look where we are. So when you're not winning, you don't want to talk about it. Let's focus on the winning. But now they're just in a wonderful place. And honestly, if you think about how special this time is, you've had 4 coaches, but 3 men's coaches who have won national titles in how long? Schools don't win one in 20 years, 30 years, and now you've had 3 different men's coaches win a national title at UConn. It just, you can't really put into words how special that is, how meaningful that is until you're kind of here living it or you watch the team play or you're around them enough.
I can because I'm from here.
Exactly.
I'm from Connecticut. So this UConn men and women's basketball is our pro teams.
It's
it's a tough place to go on and play professionally and then come back to and stuff. And then you got the Red Sox, you get the Yankees, you get all that stuff around you. And it's like, okay, well, right in the middle of it, I wanted to ask you, because you brought it up, the conference stuff. The Pac-12 is basically gone. I mean, in a matter of a couple of weeks. I mean, you kind of don't want to be the team that doesn't get into one of these conferences. What do you think? ACC, I mean, I don't even care. I mean, ACC, Big 12 right now. But UConn's got to get into one of these places. Yeah. And then you got people still saying, we want to be in the Big East. I don't even care about that right now.
Right. Everyone talks about money as well. It's $30 million exit fee. That's chump change when you think about what the next 5 to 10 years would mean financially for a school like UConn. It's the Big East has done a fantastic job with what they have. We've kind of stayed boutique, if you will. When a lot of these conferences are, I told someone a couple weeks ago, if UConn goes to the Big 12, you go from cult to corporate, because that's basically what it is. It's big time money. It's now
$66 million a year.
It's Nike instead of Lululemon. I love Lululemon, but it's you're still that small little market that loves Lululemon, and I think that's the Big East. Fantastic. I wouldn't want to be. So many years I wanted to be an athletic director. Right now is a time where I'd say, gosh, I don't know if I want to. So many hard decisions to make,
right?
Good and bad. It's no longer, and the ADs can't hide anymore. We know who they are. We know who the presidents are because there is so much movement. The travel, people talk about that, who haven't traveled as athletes. Everyone's chartering. You can take now, like that, the teams that were in the Pac-12 who are now in the Big Ten, they're going to be on, it's basically NBA travel. It's in a West Coast trip, it's an East Coast trip. They'll make that work. A lot of these Big 12 schools, students don't even go to class. They're doing all their stuff online. So
you could schedule too. I know Gino does. He'll play the West Coast games. He'll play 3 or 4 in a row, stay there for 2 weeks, and then come back.
March Madness. You dealt with this in the tournament. Yeah, you guys had tutors on the planes.
And I think you can't forget about the small sports either, though. When you're talking Olympic sports, when the Big 12 doesn't have men's soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, and listen, it maybe not bring the money in that basketball does, or even football. But they've won a lot of championships at UConn, so you have to remember and respect those student athletes and those coaches in those Olympic sports when you're talking. I think that's who you should think about first, because the big teams, they're going to be taken care of.
They're going to be fine.
Football, basketball, they're going to be fine. Men, women. But it's those Olympic sports I think you have to think about and understand what helps continue to keep your foundation for a great university, a great athletic department.
So it is what it is. We'll see what happens a year from now. This year, we're playing Big East basketball in 23-24. How great is the league going to be?
It's always tough. We know that. And if you think about the last 5-6 years, 3 national titles or so, 6-7 years, had national titles have gone to the men. Obviously, the women are probably going to win another one. And I know people hear me say that, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's easy to say." No, but we mean it. I mean, Gino's he's never down long. If he is, maybe a season, and then the next 2 are going to be his, so he'll be fine. But the Big East, to me, what makes them so good is that you can take coaches, put them into a program, and that program continues to be what we know the Big East is. Now, Ed Cooley, stories galore. I usually can't wait for the season to start to see the players.
Right.
New kids coming, new faces moving. But to see the coaches that we have in our conference with Pitino and now Ed Cooley at Georgetown, this could be one of the most exciting Big East seasons we have seen in a long, since the Boeheim, Carnesecca, Calhoun, Massimino days, really, because you have some big personalities with a lot of movement, some good young coaches. Shaka Smart, we understand how good he is, how great he is, and what he gets out of his team. So, and plenty. We forget about the Creightons and the teams in the middle, but they're always phenomenal. Greg McDermott is, to me, that's one of the biggest surprises, that he has stayed where he is for so long, because he's not, to me, just a good coach, but one of the top 5-10 coaches in America. So, again, I know people think I'm biased, but I call Big Ten games. I do a tournament games, and I see all kinds of games around the country. The Big East is just, again, it's kind of a little cult that, we like what we have in our little pocket, but it's going to be one of the most exciting we've seen in a long time.
Donnie, love you. I agree with you. We're blessed, and living a life we shouldn't be.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Thanks for letting us be a part of it.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here.
Go
guys.
in there and enjoy your banquet.
Right, thanks.
Thank you, Donnie.